hardest JAMB subjects. Now, a lot of people have been writing JAMB for over 2-3 years now, but they are yet to gain admission. And they've been facing some of the hardest JAMB subjects ever. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 subjects that have failed students more than any other subject in JAMB exam. Do you know that last year, over 70% to 75% of students scored below 200? And they scored below 200 because of this tricky subject. These subjects are seen to be difficult, and most students fall into the trap because they have failed to prepare, and this alone allowed them to score a low score in their JAMB. In this video, I'll be sharing 4 subjects and how you can perform better in this year's JAMB. All you need to do is make sure you watch the video from the beginning to the end, and do well to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and make sure you click on the notification bell so that I can get notified whenever I create awesome videos that will help you perform very well in this year's JAMB. Without any further ado, let's go into the video. So you must understand that JAMB is not about luck. It's not about trial and error. You have to prepare to do well in JAMB. The way you lay your bed, that's just how you are going to lie on it. If you read very well for your JAMB or prepare very well, you'll be able to do very well in the JAMB. Don't worry about anything. I'll be sharing with you all the different things that you need to do that will make you score well in case you are doing any of this subject. In fact, all of you are actually doing this particular one of those subjects I'll be mentioning today. Now, the first subject is use of English. Now, use of English is seen to be very difficult for a lot of students. And the reason why it is so is because a lot of students focus on some aspect of it and leave the easiest part of it. Don't forget there are different topics that will be covered in English, ranging from different topics like letter writing, down to summary, down to synonym, down to antonyms, and different other topics, idioms and all. But one of the major things you must notice is that what is your key area of strength? Now, I'm providing a solution now. Your key area of strength should come into play. What are the categories that these topics always fall into? And that's the first thing you need to attend to. Go to those areas of your strength, attend to those topics, make sure you get them to your best. Make sure that if you are supposed to do 10 if those questions are 10, make sure you score at least 10 over 10 in those aspects. Now, in those areas of your weakness, now that you are preparing for exams, make sure you focus more reading those aspects so that you can do better when the exam starts. Another thing I have to do is to build your conversation. Make sure you communicate with a lot of people in a day. Now, if you don't speak English or you are used to communicating in broken English, other forms of other languages outside English, you might find it difficult as at that time. Now, I'm telling you this from experience, right? If you speak in your dialect most of the times, you will find yourself in a situation whereby to make a very perfect sentence might become an issue. So become conscious about speaking English the right way. That way you would start building authority and confidence in your tenses. You will start speaking, your prepositions will be better, your subject verb agreement understanding will also grow better. That way, when you see any questions, it will be easy for you to attend to them. Another subject that a lot of students fail very well or most often is mathematics. Mathematics is basically a simple subject, but a lot of people are afraid of it. Now, the fear is one of the major issues that a lot of people have. In fact, most people try to avoid mathematics and try to avoid courses that allows them to pick mathematics as one of the UTME subjects, right? So what do you need to do if you don't have a choice? Especially for those of you going into engineering courses and other related courses that will warrant you to select mathematics. The first thing you want to do is to practice as much as possible. Go through past questions, dig deep and solve multiple questions under different topics. Now, don't just solve the examples and try to familiarize yourself with the example. Go deep and look for exact past questions relevant or connected to a particular topic and solve those past questions. Now, in mathematics, what I've noticed is that sometimes there are repetition of questions. In other cases, they might want to change values and all just to make the question look different. But in most cases, once you familiarize yourself, you tend to build shortcuts. And this shortcut saves you a lot of seconds that you can accumulate together and will save you a lot of minutes that you can now invest in other more difficult subjects. So make sure, or maybe even more difficult, topics in mathematics as well. So you must find the area of strength as well in mathematics and start building on that. Make sure you solve various questions. In fact, let me give you this option. Make sure you set a target. Set a target that you will solve at least 1,000 mathematical questions before you write JAMB this year. And don't worry, it is possible. All you need to do is put a calendar or set a timetable. If you solve 50 questions on a daily basis, you might be able to meet up with this particular target. Now, the next thing I also want to do is to learn how to apply formulas very fast. You must also focus on trying to avoid the use of calculator. Don't forget that when you are registered, solving mathematics, you might have to go on your, that part where you have calculator and try to calculate. Try to be quick with your calculation. Those things that you can confirm, just by trying to multiply properly or trying to find shortcuts, use shortcuts to solve them, thereby saving more time for you. Time yourself when solving problem, improve your speed. When you give yourself time when solving questions, so start with 2 minutes for a particular question, then start reducing it to 1 minute, 30 seconds, and see how you can solve a question in just 5 seconds. It is possible, right? The next subject that a lot of people are afraid of or scared of is physics. Now, physics is a very interesting subject, and the major reason why people don't like physics is because of the theories in combination with calculation. There are a lot of calculation in physics, and you must understand these theories to be able to solve the questions. And you must also, in understanding those theories, you must also have idea of the formulas that you will use to solve this question. So I understand, what do you do to solve this problem? You must try to understand the concept of these different topics as much as possible. That way you will be able to understand. Try to put some things in short forms. Try to memorize those parts that you might find difficult. Memorizing, not cramming now. Memorizing those, there are some keywords you can put, in acronyms, in different ways. Try to simplify difficult words, important keywords in a definition. That way, it will make it easy for you to recall formulas, to recall theories, and to be able to apply them in your calculation. Once you are able to get a way, or you understand a topic and you have been able to solve different questions, you might want to find a way to simplify the process. That way, you can cut down on your time. So if it took you 1 minute to do the last one, try to be fast, jump other steps, not the steps that will be very important for you to, that will make you lose or, miss the answer. But make sure that if a solution will take about 10 steps, you don't have to be detailed in the steps. If you can skip from step 1 to step 4, you can just do that just in order for you to be able to save as much time as possible. And the last subject is basically chemistry. Chemistry basically is also very interesting because don't forget you have stoichiometry, organic chemistry, you have acid and base reaction, and the rest. But the major thing you must focus on is not to memorize or cram a lot of things. Chemistry has to do with understanding. You must know how to balance equations and be able to, identify key elements when it comes to reaction and different other concepts in chemistry. In organic chemistry, for instance, your basic organic chemistry understanding must come into play when it comes to chemistry. So those basics will be what will be your foundation to solve as many questions as possible. As well, make sure you practice as many questions as possible. Now, in summary, for those of you that are not science students, that, maybe taking some of you, I know those in the art class will be mentioning subjects like government and the rest. Now, government, one of the ideas I know about government is that you must make sure that you are familiar with events that are unfolding. That way you can connect with the stories, the histories that are taught in class and apply them to real life scenarios. That way, when it comes to the exam day, on the exam day, or when you're in any exam, it will be easy for you to apply all these different concepts that you have understood. One of the major things you must also understand is that set a timetable for yourself, read at least 2 to 3 hours daily, solve at least 50 to 100 questions daily. This is the only way for you to familiarize yourself with the JAMB questions, how they set their question, especially if this is the first time you'll be writing your exam. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.